Chrono trigger. Alright, if you let the intro play, you'll get this cool animated movie. This is from 1995, as I just learned from Strategy Wiki. I spent well over 40 hours to beat this game this go round. This was my second time through the game. This is my setup. I used the girl, Chrono, and the frog as my main team in the end because their magic spells worked well together. You basically suit up, power up with weapons and armor. One thing I really liked about this game was each character had their own set of weapons and armor that only they could wear, or male or female armor that only a male or female could wear, and a weapon that they specialize in. So it wasn't up to guessing. You didn't have to share between two characters and decide who got to power up now, who got to power up later, depending on how much money you had. Another good thing about this game was I always had tons of money until it got stolen on the plane and I didn't go back for it. I just went back for all the armor. After that I was a little short on money, but otherwise I could buy basically any upgrade I wanted. You take the ship, you can go through different time warps. The Cataclysm will take you right to the end. I didn't do the ending that way. I got the main ending, which is probably the longest and hardest to do because all these other endings come first. There are so many side stories and really difficult journeys that you have to go through, like getting Chrono's body back, that make this game really interesting and sometimes really frustrating. That was the prehistoric time where you get Ayla. And in the prehistoric time, there's a little bit of alchemy. You can find feathers and horns and whatnot, and that helps you to receive some higher level weapons at that point. But I mean, eventually you buy better weapons. This, I wanted to show you an example of some of the unique little like psych outs in this game. This guy, I always wanted him to move because there's this magic capsule behind him, and now I go in and he moves. Go figure. I have been in this house like 10 times and like, move your fat ass, and he didn't. This guy, so I went back and I was like, maybe this guy will move, and he's like, no, you no pass. I'm like, well, fuck you, I beat the game. Like, I go back in and I can't even get past. I don't even know what's back there. So you can fly around your ship, you can warp with your ship, you can go to any time limit. Once I lost my ship when I went in the Black Omen, and just go back to the end of time and your ship will be docked there. It took me so long to realize that. Here's another psych out. You're like, well, obviously there's like something up with this house because it's glittering in the sunlight. And he's like, Moonstone, never heard of it. So I never found the Moonstone because this guy wouldn't give it up. So this is an example of battle. Not a great example. There are tons of magic spells. Usually they're more effective than just straight out battling with your weapon, no matter what level you're on, especially the magic spells where you combine your power with the two other players, so it would be like a triple spell or a double spell. Those ones are usually what you want to use, and my strategy was usually to figure out which spells work the best on which boss and have one character there to heal and the other two just to basically use their spells throughout the whole battle, if that was something that worked. I found the X Strike and the Triple Arc, which the Frog and Chrono used, were great spells on most bosses. The battle is timed. You can do untimed, I believe. I just used the classic setup. I didn't want to change anything. It even says right in the manual for the DS to use the touchscreen because that's how they made it new and exciting. And it says, or you can just be boring and use a classic view. And I was like, well, I guess I'm boring then. The graphics and effects were pretty good. Sometimes it's a little confusing. Is that a door? Is that a stairway? There's just so much detail in here. The use of the ship to travel throughout time was just a big lifesaver. If you had to use all the wormholes in the game and not the ship, it would be pretty annoying. So like I said, I went through the main ending, which you battle the outer shell of the Black Omen. It took me over 2 hours. Eventually you reach this spot, which is right before you go in to battle the last boss. I forget his name. Oh wait, it's Lavos, obviously. And I didn't find him as difficult as the outer shell, actually. Well under 2 hours of battle time. So I would highly recommend this game. You can get it for the Game Boy DS, probably the Advance, the SNES, and yeah, so pick it up. It's a great game, even though it was made so long ago. It has better qualities, in fact, than some of the newer RPGs. But we'll get to that in the next review of Dragon Quest.